Angel Reese is at the bottom of the pick and roll shot attempts list, and it kind of makes sense if you really watch. So on her first game back from injury, somebody interviewed her and asked her, what do you think about Uzan joining the team? Has that changed things? And she said, hopefully I'll get more pick and roll touches. Unfortunately, that just hasn't happened. And it's more so, in my opinion, that she's just not getting that play called for her. It's not something that the team is running. Pick and rolls for Angel is not happening. So there is a list. My guy Trendy put it out. I know a lot of people, Trendy is controversial, but Trendy does, you look at his stats, when he posts stats, they'll be right. And so he put out a list of the top pick and roll shot attempts for front court players, and Angel wasn't even.
Chicago, say it out loud the way the timeline already did. Angel Reese jagged the game at the free throw line, and Chicago's night flipped from gritty to goofy in one possession. That's the headline. Late in a tight one.
Away at the free throw line, and the fans are blaming Tyler Marsh. We got all the Sky fans crashing out. They crashing out, blaming the coach because Angel Reese missed a free throw at the end of a game. Let's take a look at what's going on. We have Chicago Sky fans blaming Tyler Marsh.
On the road with a shot to cut it to one and crank the pressure, she steps up, the moment swells, and clang. And just like that, the internet doesn't care about the 15 and 20, the fight on the glass, the hustle. They care about the myth.
Damn, Angel. Damn. Jag the game at the free throw line, man. It's a lot of controversy going on in Chicago. The Sky fans are blaming Tyler Marsh for Angel Reese losing the game at the free throw line and ruining the Chicago Sky's chances of really cutting the lead down to one and giving themselves a chance to keep playing and try to get an upset in Phoenix. Angel played a hell of a game, 15 points, 20 rebounds.
The meltdown and the mayhem that followed. If you felt your stomach drop, you weren't alone. An entire arena did. And if you heard Sky fans redirect all that frustration at assistant coach Tyler Marsh before the net even stopped moving, you're not imagining it. That's where the blame cannon turned.
Chicago Sky, my goodness gracious. Once again, celebrating Angel Reese's powerful double-double last night. We got a couple of things. We got a WNBA announcer actually clowning Angel Reese during the game. That normally doesn't happen. Did he not get the memo? You're not supposed to do that. I mean, players in this league check those.
Here's why this matters right now. The Sky aren't just losing, they're unraveling. A team in a spiral can't afford unforced errors, and a star under a microscope can't afford viral tantrums. I've watched this league long enough to know when a moment becomes a story, and when a story becomes a season. Tonight,
only leading Natasha is wild. So let's look at the list. And I know some people might say, well, Angel was injured for a good portion of the season. So was some people on this list. Who was injured? Fee missed 3 weeks, almost a month time. Miller was gone playing in Eurobasket. Shakira missed a lot of time. Dominique does not play that much. I mean, she's playing more now, but during the beginning of the season, who else is on this list that missed some time? E. Will was on this list. That is shocking. So we get pick and rolls for E. Will, and we get pick and rolls for Camilla, but Angel is, again, second to worst.
It jumped the tracks. I'll show you how the pick and roll debate is real, why the clipboard clip is bigger than you think, and the part nobody in Chicago wants to hear. Every Angel wobble gets broadcast in 4K because Caitlin Clark's rise has turned this rivalry into the loudest amplifier in sports. Stick with me. By the end, you'll see why the stat sheet says dominance, but the camera says distraction, why fans are yelling at coaches instead of players, and why the next whistle could change the Sky's season. Let's click the moment first, because that's the hook everyone's sharing. Crunch time. Phones out. Shoulders in the stands inching forward like a human tide. Angel looks like the hero Chicago keeps manifesting, owning the glass, sprinting end to end, doing the dirty work that wins playoff games. Then it happens. The free throw turns into a plot twist. The air gets vacuumed out of the building. And instead of composure, deep breath, clap it off. Next play, we get theater. There's the camera, catching a swat, a clipboard flying out of a coach's hands. In the wild west of replay culture, optics are evidence. That 3-second clip becomes the exhibit everyone can see and interpret 100 different ways. Was it anger? Fire? Immaturity? Leadership? Depends on your jersey. But in a league starving for attention, that kind of clip is catnip. It outtrends the box score in under a minute. Now, if all you had was the miss and the swat, it would still burn the timeline for a day. But it detonated because of context, the second best point in this entire saga. Angel's been back from a back issue. She stacked a run of bully ball rebounding nights, and she's playing with that nobody outworks me engine that turns 50 to 50 balls into 70-30s. 15 rebounds, 20 rebounds, another double-double. And yet, Chicago is doing a weird thing, celebrating individual dominance while the team slides. You know how fans of struggling franchises talk themselves into box score hope? Confetti for LS, banners for almost. That's the energy. There's even a brutal split floating around. When Angel hits those big rebounding marks, too often it's coming in losses. That's not on her alone, it never is, but it feeds a perception that the diet is empty calories. Highlight protein, team malnutrition. Hold that thought, because the strongest point is the one that puts actual stakes on the next game, the next whistle, the next sentence that comes out of a star's mouth. After the final horn, Angel doesn't hedge. She lights the officiating up. No euphemisms, no politician answers. She makes it crystal, profanity and all, that she's tired of it and she doesn't care about fines. There's a stirring honesty in that. Athletes are human, and the best ones aren't robots. But honesty has a cost when the rulebook is waiting like a speed trap around the corner. The W gives you a hard line on technicals. Cross it enough times and you don't get a think piece, you get a suspension. As of right now, she's on that razor's edge, one tech away, the kind of balance where every side eye at a ref feels like holding a match over a puddle of gasoline. That's not spooky rhetoric. That's math. One more outburst, and it's not just a headline, it's an absence. And for a team already wobbling, removing your best rebounder because the temperature in your chest hit 212 degrees Fahrenheit is the definition of losing twice. Now let's rewind and actually build the scene so we're not just yelling into a highlight. Chicago enters needing poise more than oxygen. Road game. Possession ball. Bits of daylight if they can string stops and survive the line. Angel's night has that blue-collar glow. Elbows, knees, second jumps. All the stuff a coach circles on film. But then the decisive moment wears a clown nose, and social media knows how to smell blood. You could feel the whole arena compute it. Miss gasp, murmur, camera cut to the bench, then the SWAT. Clipboards aren't sacred objects, but they're symbols. They're the illusion that what's in the rectangle is under control. Knock one out of a coach's hands under the wrong lights, and the story is no longer a miss. It's a meltdown. The laugh tracks, the WWE voiceover edits, the rivals posting crying emoji compilations, those arrive faster than the post-game quotes, and that's where Chicago's fanbase splits into factions like a reality show reunion episode. One part blames Tyler Marsh by name, the classic wrong play call, wrong usage, wrong timing refrain. Another part says the players have mentally checked out, that no one's listening to the plan, that it looks like 5 freelancers out there. A third group, the most online of the bunch, builds conspiracy walls about the refs and the league's favorite storylines. When a team is fragile, blame hunts in packs. And Angel's orbit attracts it because she's the face. Marketable, polarizing, unmissable. You can't talk usage without pulling up the sheet everyone's retweeting. A list from a stat head, controversial on the timeline but annoyingly accurate on the numbers, showing pick-and-roll shot attempts for front-court players. Scan, and Angel is near the bottom. That stat does 2 things at once. First, it validates what she herself hinted in an interview. After Yusin joined, new personnel, new looks, she hoped for more pick-and-roll touches. They haven't materialized. Second, it pours fresh fuel on the Marsh-blaming camp. See? We run PNR for Camila. For Will. For others who've missed time. Why not for 5? There are reasonable answers. Spacing, ball handler comfort, scouting, how defenses sit in gaps against non-stretch 5s, but reasonable answers don't trend. What trends is a scoreboard, a low light, and a usage chart that feels like Exhibit A in a malpractice case. And then there's the shadow that refuses to leave the frame. Caitlin Clark. It's not fair to judge one player through another's box score, but sports never promised fair. The league's biggest draw is out there dragging attendance averages into new tax brackets, popping TV numbers, moving games into bigger buildings because demand is doing cannonballs. Every Clark deep 3 produces wind that knocks over every Angel headline like a row of dominoes. When Clark rockets, Reese's wobble looks uglier. When Clark shrugs off contact and buries a 28-footer, Reese slapping a clipboard scans as can't handle it. It's the split screen effect, triumph versus turmoil. The scoreboard and the storyboard side by side. And if you're a Sky fan, you can feel the platform shrinking when the comparisons get loud. You're screaming to separate the narratives. The internet's mixing them on purpose. Let's not ignore the part that's true and hard. Angel is good. Full stop. There are maybe a handful of players walking the planet who can inhale, rebounds the way she does. She has charisma, edge, and that theater kid confidence that makes every game feel like opening night. What she doesn't have yet is the one skill you can't teach in a weight room: temperature control. It's not just staying calm, it's staying strategic. It's understanding that sometimes the best clapback is a deep third quarter seal and an and one instead of a quote that costs you 13 grand and one more box checked toward a suspension. Stars know the game inside the game. How to pull fouls from defenders without pulling techs from refs. How to impose their will without letting the whistle start to anticipate them. This is the final exam every lightning rod rookie has to pass. Right now, Angel's sitting in the front row, tapping a pencil and rolling her eyes at the questions zoom out, because this isn't only about a player. It's about a franchise mood. The Sky's identity, once a clever, scrappy outfit that could out-execute more talented teams, is foggy. You can feel people relitigating the coaching staff hour by hour. You fired Teaspoon for this? That's a fan's lament, not a fact check. It's the way supporters talk when the product on the floor lacks cohesion. Roles feel loose. Possessions look freelance. The team's emotional weather swings in 5-minute bands. And the longer a slide lasts, the 8-game canyon that creeps into your shoulders every morning you wake up, the more a single viral clip becomes the emblem people use to define the whole season.